Hi, in this session we are going to learn a C++ concept of vector. Now vectors are very similar to an array. So first we'll try to look into how do we work with an array and what are the drawbacks of an array, and now how vector overcomes the problems of array. Now we declare an array whenever you want to hold a collection of elements which are referred by a single name. Like for example, you want to create an array of 5 elements. We just specify the data type, the name of an array, and here we specify the size in the sense an array should be of how many elements, 5 elements or 10 elements or any such thing, right? Now this is how we used to declare an array. Now the size was supposed to be a literal value. When I say a literal value, some fixed value which can be determined during compilation itself, like what is the amount of memory to be reserved. Yes, sometimes we basically used a macro like hash define followed by, we used to give some name like size and then some literal value for that, and we used to specify that. But remember, that will be handled by the preprocessor, but during compilation, okay, the size is a literal what we get, right? Now based on this, the compiler used to reserve memory where I can store 5 elements. Like for example, if I just try to apply size of array, so this used to reserve 20 bytes of memory. Let us try to compile this and quickly verify this. I have stored this particular program using the file called as vector. I'll just try to compile this and execute this. You just see 20 bytes because it's an array of 5 elements, right? Later on, there was some improvements done to an array wherein this size need not be a fixed value, which is a literal. It can be some variable, right? Now the value of the variable can be specified at the runtime. Like for example, I can ask enter the number of elements. Now once the user enters the number of elements, based on that I could specify the size of an array. Now for example, if I run this program, if I enter the value of n as 5, it will be an array of 5 elements. So the cout statement out here will print 20 bytes. If the value of n is 10, it's going to create an array of 10 elements. Let's quickly verify this. I'd like to compile this program, run this. I'd like to say 5, you'll get the same thing as 20. And if I say 10, you can just see I'm getting 40. And if I say some 20, I'm getting it as 80 out here, right? This is a decent improvement on arrays, right? But the drawbacks of this particular array again is you can specify the size only once, and later on if you want to say no, this is not sufficient, I want to increase a little bit more during the runtime, you will not be able to do it, right? Like for example, let us say you consider a problem like you want to find out all the prime numbers from 1 to n, and you need to store all those into an array. Now you read a number, let us say from 1 to, let us say, 100. Okay, after reading the n limit like 100, you don't know from 1 to 100 how many elements are prime numbers which needs to be stored. So you don't know, okay, what should be the size of an array to be specified. You might end up at creating an array of 100, but remember every element is not a prime, so you try to allocate excess memory, right? Okay, now vector is much more improvement, okay, or improved version of this particular one, wherein you don't need to specify the size while creating a vector, right? But let us try to see how do we create a vector. So if you want to work with vector, we have to include a header file vector. That's the first thing. The next thing is you need to create a vector object, vector. Okay, now vectors have been implemented using the concept of templates. Okay, so here vector can hold data types of like elements of any data type. We can create a vector of integers, we can create a vector of characters, we can create a vector of strings, we can also create a vector of any user different data types. But this particular vector, what you want to store in this particular vector object, you need to specify the type here, right? You can specify the type. Good. Okay, now once you specify this one, now you have created a vector object. Now remember, there is no square bracket, nothing. Now this creates a vector object. Now if you want to know what is the size, there are two things. One is size of operator, and there is a method called as size. There are two different things. Okay, we'll try to get into that differences and okay a bit later, right? Let's try to compile this particular program. G++ vector.cpp. Then let me try to run this. Size of is 24. Why is it 24? Don't be bothered about it. And yes, some people might get it as 12 in case you're working with 32-bit compiler, right? Or if you guys are working with code blocks, which is 32-bit application, you might get it as 12, right? But v.size is giving me 0, indicating that there are 0 elements inside a vector. Now, I would like to insert an elements. Now, when I want to add some elements into a vector, it's quite simple. We have to use the vector object dot. There is a method called this push underscore back. And inside that, you can pass the element whatever you want to insert. Like for example, I would like to insert 98, right? This element gets inserted and the size automatically increases. So let us try to understand. Okay, after insertion, let us try to observe, is the size increasing or not. Also observe, is the size of increasing or v.size is increasing. Okay, you can just observe this. Size of is always 24, right? But v.size is increased by 1. Okay, so details about size of operator we'll look in the next video. For the time being, we'll not be getting into this. We'll try to understand with respect to v.size, which gives me the number of elements present in the vector. So in this way, you can add some more elements. Let's try to insert few more elements. Let me just try to copy paste this statement and then do some. I'm inserting 4 elements here. The values can be same, can be different, right? Any order, not necessary in order also, right? Now I'd like to come back here. I'd like to compile this program, then good, and then I'd like to run this. Can you see? Earlier it was 0, now it is 4. Okay, so from this what we learned is the size is getting incremented. Yeah, if you want to see the size that after every step, you can always place this particular statement after every insertion. You will see that after every insertion, the size keeps increasing by 1. Okay, right. Okay, now once we have understood that we can insert the element with the help of push underscore back, which will automatically increase the size by 1. The next thing what I like to do it is like I want to traverse all the elements. Okay, if you want to traverse all the elements of an vector, there are multiple ways in which you can do it. One of the simplest way is this. You can just go with this for loop, starting with the index variable I is 0. Then I can just check out, okay, I less than v.size, because v.size gives me the number of elements, right? I plus plus. Okay, I'll just try to write elements of vector. Okay. Here, if you want to print, you can use the vector object. Remember, it's not an array, but you can still use the array indexing operator. You can pass on I as the index, right? Please do observe this one, p of I. Okay, right. Now let's try to compile this. Here we are able to access all the elements of a vector, right? Now yeah, C++11 also provides you a range based for loop, which is much easier in syntax when compared to this, right? Okay, we'll see that place. Now after inserting of the elements, now let us say you want to remove some elements, right? I would just want to remove one element. Okay, if you want to remove an element, we have something called as pop underscore back, right? This will remove the last element which was inserted. Like for example, we had 98, and after 98 we had 23, then 56 and 68. So the last element, the element at the back is 68. That element will be deleted, but remember, it does not return me the deleted element. So return type of the pop underscore back is void. So after removing 1 or 2 elements, okay, if you want to remove 2 times, you can just write p.pop underscore back twice, right? Then we can just look at this code. Now as of now, I have removed only 1 element, and that is the last one, right? State is removed. So if you just want to say no, I would like to remove 3 elements, well and good. Compile it. Let's try to run this. Clear? Right. This way we learned how do we add elements, how do we remove the elements, and how do we get to know how many elements are present with the help of size method, right? And access the element with the help of array indexing operator. Fine. Okay. Now the question out here is, can we insert only at the rear? Can't we insert in between? The answer is yes, you can insert in between. Now, can you only delete the last element? No, you can delete any element in between. So there are different functions for that. But in order to study all those things, we need to learn few things called as iterators, which we'll be doing in the next session. Right? Now, few more things we'll try to quickly learn out here, which are easy things. Now the question is, I want to insert 4 elements, or initialize it. Can I initialize like this? Right? Something like this, I want to initialize. Is this possible? The answer is yes and no. How can the answer be yes and no? Let us try to compile this. And then check out. I'm trying to compile this out here. Please do observe, I'm facing an error out here telling that in C++ 98 we must be initialized by constructor, not with the flower braces. Right, that's one thing. If you want, you can just give this error message. Okay, fine. Now, I said that it also works, but it works in C++ 11. You can just write, I want to work with C++ 11, and you can just observe that this works perfectly fine, and whatever the 4 elements I've inserted, well and good. Now, after that, I also said that we can use this for each loop to access the elements, right? This is one way to access it, and here I'll try to I'd like to add few more elements, right? Now once I'm trying to do it in a traditional way, and here I'd like to work with a for each loop. For every element is of type integer, right? You can specify any variable here, specify the vector name, and we can print this. That's it. Remember, there is no need of array indexing operator. Okay, how many times the loop should repeat, that is automatically calculated. Okay, and in the first iteration it will give me the first element, second iteration it will give me the second element, third iteration will give me the third element, right? Please do remember, I had few elements out here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Out of that I'm removing 3 elements. So after removing 3 elements, I'll be left out with 5 elements, right? So let us quickly run this. When this for each loop is a C++ 11 construct. Clear, guys? So these are the basics of vector. How do we add element at the last? How do we remove the element at the last? And how do we access the elements, right? Thank you.